gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages. It's episode 273 of Nerd Sports. 273. Why? Because we've been at this for 273 weeks. So we decided, what the hell? We're going to start 3 minutes early. It's our show. You don't like it? There's the door. Otherwise, sit back, relax, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. We are going to start things off this week like we have been traditionally over the last few weeks. Do you see me being frozen or
You are frozen. I
I
can
am
hear
frozen?
you fine.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. We're just going to go with that.
Yeah.
We're going to turn things over to our esteemed producer, David, for this week's Weird Sport, albeit very briefly. But David, go ahead.
Johnny might get like a talking to after this one.
Yes, I understand. I dropped the F-bomb before the 3-minute mark.
No. Fuck it.
Thunder around to take the back.
She's gonna fight their time. She's gonna get out.
Choke.
She's starting to
She's
fade.
not even grabbed the arm. She might go out, folks. She might go
Look
out.
at that
It's
arm.
getting close. It might be close, folks.
That arm's going
Is
limp.
she out? She's out.
She's out.
She's out. She's
And
out.
it's over.
That is it. Kick her off. She kicked her up and
So lingerie wrestling is a thing.
A lingerie MMA. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah. So I said last week that I was going to try and write up an exhaustive kind of deadline that expired last night at 6:00 Central or Eastern time.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So here are my overall deadline report cards for every MLB team. The grades reflect whether each club accomplished its goals, whether that meant maximizing a championship window, retooling, or rebuilding, not simply how many big names they acquired. The big headlines included the Dodgers landing Tariq Skubal, the Red Sox acquiring Adley Rutschman, the Phillies adding Luis Arraez, and the Cubs aggressively upgrading their pitching. We're going to start off with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They got a B because they stayed disciplined without sacrificing their farm team or their farm system. So they're the future of their club. It's in pretty good shape. The Athletics, they also got a B. They added depth and they made some sensible value moves. So they're not breaking the bank, but they did shore up the positions that they needed to shore up. Braves, they got a B. They didn't really do a whole lot. They had a pretty quiet deadline. They didn't overreact. Orioles, God, the Orioles got a D. Despite selling, they selling despite remaining competitive. So I mean, they they stayed in a lot of games. They won a lot of games that they shouldn't have won. But they sold. And, trading Adley Rutschman to a division rival. I mean, even some of the most diehard, out of division fans, hey, don't get me wrong. As a Red Sox fan, I love that move. I love that for my team. But from an Orioles standpoint, that's just difficult to justify. The Red Sox, and this was completely subjective. They got an A. They acquired Adley Rutschman, and they got some pretty good franchise cornerstone despite his injury, because he did have a wrist injury going with some inflammation, so he was on the IL at the time that he was traded. Now he did make his debut at Fenway Park, wearing the home white uniform for the Red Sox, and he did make some throws, caught some pitches, and he was taking some swings. So he said he feels pretty good. He's ready to get into the lineup and ready to contribute to the club. The Cubs, they got an A. They were one of the most aggressive buyers. They strengthened both the rotation and their bullpen. Um, the White Sox, who the Red Sox are currently beating 7-1 right now. Oh, I'm sorry, 7-2. Um, they got to be. They continued rebuilding with a logical asset management. So, um, they're not giving up a lot. They're keeping some key pieces. They're building. So, I mean, I like the way I like the trajectory that their front office put the club on. So they're going to be an interesting club to watch here in the next couple seasons. The Reds got a B minus. They didn't do enough to significantly improve their playoff odds, but they did shore up some positions that they were needing some help in. The Guardians, they walked out of the trade deadline with an A minus. They quietly added several productive bats and pitching depth. The Rockies got a B, surprisingly. They focused appropriately on long-term assets. So they're not they know that, trading now is not going to do anybody any good because they're just so far out of it. So they're looking ahead to next, they're looking down the road. The Astros got a B plus. Well, let me back up. The Tigers got a B minus because the trading Tariq Skubal was understandable. But there's a lot of people that think that the Dodgers really got over on that trade because they didn't really give up a lot for him.
Yeah, that was one thing that I've been hearing, like everything over over on TikTok and X. That was the main thing that was like fully on my feed for the last 2 days.
And
I was like,
and then something else too.
I mean, some of them was like some of the stuff was like, Dodgers traded for this guy for like a cheeseburger and a Happy Meal, and they got a really good prize out of it. He was the prize. It was just ridiculous.
So, but here's the thing, though. There's a lot of people that are complaining past, the Dodgers kind of really seeming like they're fleecing everybody this trade deadline. But with the collective bargaining agreement coming up for expiration in December.
Okay, yeah.
This is really going to put a focus on making baseball have a salary cap.
Yeah, and there was a lot of other stuff that people were talking about with that was
There's a lot of people that are they're afraid that this is going to break baseball for a season or two.
I don't think it's going to break baseball for a season, but it's going to change some stuff up to where they're going to have to rework how they get players.
Or baseball needs I know it's not a popular take, especially amongst the players union, but it definitely needs a salary cap because, man, it's almost like the Dodgers are trying to go around and collecting infinity stones.
Yeah.
And it really, I don't know, man. If they're operating within the rules, hey, they can do them along. It's whatever. But
the other thing is
from a traditional fan standpoint, this just does not. It doesn't bode well because right now, I think I heard the number last night. The Dodgers are in position to pay like $183 million to the luxury tax because of their payroll. And I'm like, hey, if you've got that kind of capital, throwing it around like that, fine, sure. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But the Dodgers, honestly, they didn't need any help. I mean,
no. I mean, what is
to be fair,
for like the third where
they're attempting to three-peat, to be the first team to three-peat World Series champions. Do I want to see it happen? Part of me does, just because it's never been done before. But on the other side of it, it's like the Dodgers, um, they need to be careful because they're going to become the modern day Yankees, the evil empire of the West Coast.
Uh,
Mm. Because when free agency became a thing back in the 70s, George Steinbrenner, the boss, the original boss, he that's how he started building those teams, the teams of the 90s. I mean, that's how he got Reggie Jackson away from the Oakland A's. Uh, I mean, it just
but it
throwing
took
money,
it's like
throwing
20
money.
years
Well,
to get
see, throwing money at at players. Hey, come play for my team, play for this organization. You're going to come in, you're going to win rings. Um, I mean, that was the reason why they came up with the luxury tax, and I think that the luxury tax is no longer an effective deterrent for
Yeah,
ownership.
especially since you can like just throw more money at it. Like, oh, we'll pay the tax. Screw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not an effective deterrent anymore,
No,
and they need to have something more permanent. They need to have a salary cap.
they should have had a salary cap. They should have had a salary cap back in the 90s, starting up
They,
with
they should have. They should have. They should have.
kept on.
But moving on, the Astros, they got to be plus. They filled some offensive needs without emptying the farm system, which is always a plus because
Didn't they have a?
the more. Go ahead.
Okay, I just seen this recently. Didn't they have a player that was playing for I think the Blue Jays? Or is that
Dalton Varshaw? They're actually playing right now down the road at Dyken Park.
yeah? They switched
It's
players.
Spencer Arrighetti, which is he was pitching for Houston, pretty decent arm. To picked up Dalton Varsho. All they did basically is just swap locker rooms. That's all they did. I mean,
It's
it
like-
was a short commute to your new team. So.
Well, it's almost like it's like, hey, I hate to tell you this right now, but Tammy's a better player, so we're gonna switch y'all out.
I don't think it's so much that.
Yeah,
no.
but it's
Well,
funny.
see, no, because here's the thing: if you're trading apples and apples, fine, yeah, all right. But this guy's better than you, and we need to make room. But they really want you. We think you're going to be a better fit over there. Fine, but Varsho is an offense. He's a fielder, right?
Yeah,
he plays in the field. He's not a pitcher, so that's apples and oranges right there. I mean, he filled a need for them offensively. He also filled a need for them defensively. And Spencer Arrighetti, being a mid-level arm and looking at the way that Toronto's been performing this year, especially with their rotation and their bullpen, he filled an immediate need for them. Now, is Toronto to all of a sudden eligible to make the playoffs? I doubt it very seriously. Right now, they're, I think, like 14 games under 500 or something like that. But I mean, short of them ripping off a 15-game winning streak like the Red Sox did last month, I don't see it happening. Especially with how volatile the Toronto offense has been. It's very unlikely. But moving on, we've got the Royals picked up a C+ this year. They did mostly some peripheral moves that didn't dramatically change their outlook. And I mean, at this point, with one of the worst records in baseball, they need to focus more on retooling and rebuilding more than anything else. And they did get rid of some of their key players. Bobby Witt Jr. needs to stay put. They need to build that team around him, and they need to do it for the long term. But moving on, we've got the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They got an A-. So they maximized value on several assets, and they still improved their organizational depth. What they did is they're really kind of like picking up prospects and rebuilding their farm system, and they're really trying to focus on doing some of that homegrown, talent. bring a guy up through the organization, and it build some kind of loyalty there.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick though? Can they pull from the minor league during this trade, or is it just everybody that's in the major leagues?
No, you see minor leaguers being part of a deal all the time, which is
Okay.
why, when they say not sacrificing the farm system,
Yeah.
that's what they're talking about. The farm system being the minor leagues. So you got low A, high A, you've got developmental league, you've got
Can't hear a word.
oof.
There we go.
What?
That whole
It's
that-
9-2 Boston.
No, that whole sentence that you just did, no one heard.
You know what? I'll be glad when I switch internet providers because AT&T, your fiber internet blows monkey. All right, we're
No,
talking.
Here's the thing. When I was working for AT&T, when you sign that contract to get internet of any kind, you know what kind of promises are in that contract?
Provisional.
The only thing they promise is they will bill you. That's it. They don't promise you internet at all or good internet.
Yeah, well, I signed up to get a gig, and I think maybe the highest I got was like 800 meg, nowhere close to a gig at all. So, and then you obviously have seen me cut in and out and get booted out of the studio because the internet decided to take a big dump, right in the middle of our show.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Xfinity this Friday, and yeah. Anyway, the Dodgers obviously with their A+ clear deadline winner, they landed Tariq Skubal, and they've made an already elite club even more dominant. So that starting rotation with Tariq Skubal as part of it now is just absolutely bananas. I fucking hate my internet service. Oh my God. I almost didn't want to do the show tonight because I knew that the internet was going to be shit. The Marlins picked up a B. They continued patiently building for the future. So the thing about the Miami Marlins, though, is that if they have even anything that's remotely successful, they usually have a fire sale following the following season.
Yeah.
Right. So, like back in 2003, when they won the World Series, they beat the Yankees in the World Series. They immediately had a fire sale. Yeah. it was gross. But without that fire sale, Boston wouldn't have gotten people like of the likes of Josh Beckett, because he was pitching for the Florida Marlins back in 2003. So hey, silver linings, right? The Brewers picked up an A- this year. I gave them that because they strengthened both their rotation and their bullpen without overpaying. So, I like what Milwaukee's been doing with their pitching staff, and they're building an entire rotation. It seems like around Mizorowski, and that kid is just an absolute stud. Yeah, I know what the picture shows, and man, it's just not flattering at all. The Twins, I gave the Twins a C because they were surprisingly quiet given their position. So I mean, the Mets, the Mets picked up a D+. I gave them a D+. I was feeling a little bit magnanimous. They failed to meaningfully improve what was already a disappointing ball club. So one of the highest, one of the highest rolls ball, and they can't get out of their own way. So
Well, didn't they?
last
year didn't they lose a lot of players?
Yeah, they did. So, I mean, It almost seems like if you have any kind of sports club that's set up anywhere close to the borough of Queens, you might as well just fucking relocate.
Yeah.
I gave the Yankees begrudgingly an A minus. They did address some injuries and lineup concerns. They called up a kid tonight. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Major league debut. He debuted at shortstop. His brother also made his pro debut down in High A Jupiter, down in Florida. His parents were initially going to split. Mom was going to go down there to Florida. Dad was going to watch the Yankees game. Dad's also a bench coach for the Detroit Tigers. So
Really?
AJ Hinch gave him permission to fly out to New York. They think his dad knew about the call up before he did, because his dad was on a plane before he got the phone call. So, but little brother said, "You know what? Nah, this is way too good," and is now 11-2 Red Sox. Oh, this is so much fun for me, dude. I'm just like, man. All right. Anyways, so little brother took one for the team. He's like, "No, this is a bigger deal. You get to see him run out and take the field, as a major leaguer in Yankee Stadium. Go." So both of his parents are in attendance at the night. One of the first things that he does is just fucking hits a home run, 2-run shot for his first major league home run. I'm like, bro, okay, he's definitely going to get that ball back. So, it might cost him a little bit, but hey, he's going to get the ball.
Doesn't the team help out with that payment too?
No.
At times, or is
it just depends. Now I know that, like, when Derek Jeter got his 3,000th hit,
Mhm.
my camera was.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
I'm just going with it. When Derek Jeter hit his 3,000th hit, or was it 2,000? Yeah, it was his 3,000th. Anyway, the guy that caught the ball, because it was a home run, so the guy that caught the ball actually had been saving up all year to take his dad to a Yankees game.
Mhm.
And so they were like, "Hey, we want that ball. Here's some memorabilia." So like some Derek Jeter signed baseball cards, a jersey, a signed bat, a couple of baseballs with some autographs on them. And instead of calling it an even trade, even Stevens, the Yankees reported the trade, swag for the baseball. They reported the monetary value of the merchandise that the guy got as income. from the
yes.
IRS. Yeah. So he ended up like a month later getting a bill from the IRS for $11,000.
That would have fuck.
And so instead of being like, a good guy, Derek Jeter, he was like, "I didn't know anything about it." And then that's all he said. Local cards, sports memorabilia stores, card collectors and stuff like that around the New York area, set up a GoFundMe and paid the guy's tax bill.
That's the right thing to do, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the big
But I'm
difference.
like, that was a dick move by the Yankees, though.
That's
by
a dick move
reporting
by
it as
Derek
fucking
Jeter.
income. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. That was
This
a
is
dick
why
move.
this is why people don't fucking like the Yankees, dude. I'm telling you.
That's a dick move by Jeter. But no, okay, that's the biggest difference between. And you just figure this out along the way through your life. Is nothing would warm anybody's heart is a dedicated collector with other there's so many stories of people they lost their comics in the fire, and people are like, "Hey, I had that comic book, I'll send it to you. I got an extra. I got this one." I mean, it's just heartwarming and gives you chills each and every time you see something. And it goes for anything that a person that collects.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, even I'm not into Gundams like you are. But I still know that story where there was a Japanese guy and his nephew
Mhm.
destroyed like close to like $3,000 worth of Gundam builds.
Oh, that
Dude,
pains me just thinking about it. Oh, that hurts.
yes. And it was like all set up in a room, and the kid just went in and just bashed up a couple. And I was like, I heard that story. I was like, my first thought was, well, one, that kid's dead. I would help bury the body, but then I realized, it's a kid, and he don't know no better.
Yeah, still, I'd be
It
whooping
was
his ass. He'd walk away.
When he is like 30 and people were wondering why he was walking around with a limp, they thought he got in an accident. No, he got his ass whooped that bad. He lost half of his ass.
Yeah. Speaking of Gundam, I'm sending you I just texted you. Well, I'm trying to text you.
Did I hit your tism?
You did. I'm just showing you my new build, my latest build, because my camera's not fucking working.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on. The Phillies, I gave the Phillies an A. Luis Ariziz, he adds another elite contact hit to contact bat. I mean, if you look at the lineup for Philadelphia, the guys that hit to contact,
You think they have a winning chance?
I mean, they're definitely going to make the playoffs for sure.
Okay.
But let's see. I gave the Pirates a B. They continue to accumulate young talents. I mean, they're trying to build a core, and they're trying to, they're thinking long term. They're looking way down the road. So, gave the Padres an A. They picked up Robbie Ray and Casey Mize. Now, depending on who you talk to, AP News says that it's going to significantly strengthen a postseason rotation. Well, that would make sense if the Padres made the postseason. I think that their pitching definitely needed help, and that's why I gave them an A, because those two pickups right there, Casey Mize coming over from the Detroit Tigers, he's a good arm. Robbie Ray, he's got some electric stuff. He's got some consistency issues. But I mean, overall, their pitching staff definitely got better with those two pickups. I gave the Giants an A minus. They're fully committed to retooling. So the three big contracts that they were trying to get out from underneath, they didn't do anything with them. That's why I didn't give them an A plus. But they're committed to fully retooling, and they're bringing back some premium prospects for veterans. So the Mariners, I gave the Mariners a B plus. Taylor Ward definitely addresses some offensive weaknesses for the Seattle Mariners. They're not nearly as competitive as they were last season. Of course, I know it's a different team, but you're seeing people like Cal Raleigh, who hit 60 home runs in the regular season last year as a catcher. His production's nowhere near that this year. I mean, nobody thought that it was going to be, and if you did, that's unrealistic, and you need to check your privilege at the door. The Cardinals, I give the Cardinals a C this year. They did some minimal impact moves. Really nothing. I mean, they're out of contention. They're not going to make the playoffs. That much is a given. But I don't know. We'll see how we'll see how next year plays out. Because I mean, we got the winter meetings, and the free agency is going to start opening up, and I don't see clubs like St. Louis staying down in the ditches for too long. It's just way too big of a market for them to not be competitive. Let me see here. I gave the Rays a B because they did add some upside while remaining financially flexible, which is kind of the trademark for Tampa Bay. They're out there holding first place in the American League East with a third of the payroll that Boston and New York are using. So, and they're doing it effectively. So there's something in the water down there in Tampa, I'm telling you. The Rangers, I give the Rangers a B minus. They needed more help than they ultimately acquired, so they didn't really
Well,
have
they-
it very
They
productive.
already did a couple of trades like in May.
Yeah, but we're talking about the trade deadline specifically. All right. This is the last opportunity going into what is ultimately going to be a postseason run for the Texas Rangers, unless they just absolutely shit the bed the last month and a half of the season.
Well, okay, right now, I mean, if you're looking at the standings right now, and this is another thing that I looked up and I got a load of posts on, was Houston and Rangers like battling out for AL West.
Well, the Rangers just got swept by Houston.
Yeah,
over the week during the week or over the weekend.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm looking at the standings right now. Seattle is okay. The Athletics gone. The Angels gone. They can't make this make up with all the stuff. You got Houston.
Those two teams got eliminated from postseason contention back in April. All right, they got eliminated on opening day. They got eliminated from postseason contention when spring training opened up.
How did they
Okay.
get? How did that happen?
It's a joke, David. It's a joke.
Okay.
Because the clubs are just that bad.
Okay.
But
But
the
anyway.
Rangers, the Rangers did hold first place for a while, but
Well-
I mean, the Astros figured something out. They went on a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah.
It got snapped yesterday, but and right now,
But the competition right now is with also with the Seattle Mariners, because they're
Seattle is in a very. I mean, they're
right now.
I'll look at the standings here. Hold on.
Okay, but let me get over this on this. Rangers and Seattle are neck and neck right now. Almost everything is the same thing. The only thing is the L10, which Rangers have 3-7 and Mariners got 4-6. But their standings are not too close, but it would be hard to tell.
Yeah, I hold on. Let me. Oh my God. Okay.
You see what I mean?
No, okay. I got to figure something out here. Hold on just a second.
Oh, your internet's just totally screwing up.
I can't even speak. That's how fucking screwy shit is right now.
Just use your phone.
Oh, well, I've got my notes for everybody's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so divisional standings right now, it's a 2.5 game lead for the Astros over the Rangers. That's close, but that's not neck and neck.
No,
Okay.
I'm not talking about Houston and Rangers. I'm talking Seattle and
Right, and I'm looking. Seattle and Texas right now are tied for second in that division.
Yeah.
Okay, they hold the exact same record.
Okay, yeah.
They're both 3 games under 300. Okay, they're 2.5 back of the Astros. And if we're talking about wild card standings, the only difference between, I mean, they're a game and a half out, right?
Mhm.
Can they theoretically make a push to take over that third spot? Yeah, they can, because the only team that's really vulnerable right now, as far as the wild card positioning is going to certainly be concerned, is Cleveland. They're at 500 right now, and they're in the last wild card spot for the American League. Boston just absolutely setting the world on fire. They are 2 games behind the Yankees for second place in the division. Like, just 2 games, right? And you think about this on June 4th, June 14th, I think it was. They were 14 games below 500.
Yeah.
And
No,
then and then they went on this huge winning streak, and they went 21-4 over the for the month of July.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the reason why when I was looking at the standings, because I think me and your son did that episode, and we were looking at the standings. I was like, if Boston like hits it hard, they could still win, even though
Well,
they're at the time they were fourth place.
yeah, and I had made comments
Yeah,
that, you know,
in the
I had
Blue
made comments in the past that they had a severe chokehold on last place in the division, and then they just came together. And I totally and completely credit the hiring, the installation of Chad Tracy as interim manager. Now,
No, what I take credit for is you saying that they watched the show and they said, "Fuck that guy," and they just went on after it. I
hey,
think
you know what? If that is indeed what actually happened, then hey, I will.
that would be hilarious.
I will begrudgingly talk smack about my Red Sox every year. But
That'd be so funny. They're at the playoffs and they're about to make the pennant, and he's like, "What got you to this point?" Fuck Johnny Skelton. I'm like,
like that dude right there, not fucking believing. That's what it was.
Yeah.
No, like I have faith, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of times it's misplaced, but there you go. But I'm with the Rangers. I just don't think they did enough to help themselves. I don't.
they
The
probably.
Blue Jays.
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing with the Rangers. I don't think they needed to do anything. And they could probably.
Yes, of course they did. Every club had deficiencies that they needed to address. The Rangers did. I gave them a B-, man. I really did, because they did pick up some stuff. They needed more help than they went out and got, though. They just weren't active enough. They just weren't. And Michael Young, which is, former player, now currently their general manager. I mean, he just did not go out there. He did not. I don't know what the thinking is up there in Arlington. I don't. Is he looking ahead to the winter meetings to try to pick up some kind of like free agent, or are they looking to promote within from their farm system, thinking that they've got help down there? I don't know. But in the meantime, in the present, there was way too many needs, and there was moves that could have been made. And yeah, you have to give up a little bit as far as prospect packages or whatever, or maybe give up a minor leaguer here or there. Maybe get rid of some dead weight that you were going to designate for assignment anyway. But I just don't think that Michael Young was aggressive enough as general manager of the Texas Rangers for this particular trade deadline. I don't. And I mean, if they were serious, they could have gone out and I'm not saying grab a headliner, but go out and find you those value players that are going to make the immediate impact. And he just didn't do it. And for those of you who are a member of Rangers Nation, you are well within your rights to be completely pissed off. I mean, yeah, you can be like, well, I mean, this move here makes sense. That move here makes sense. But why didn't we address this? Why didn't we address that? I mean, A through Z, up and down the line, I don't think Michael Young did. I don't think he did enough. And that's why I gave them a B-, because they did go out and do a couple of things, but they didn't, they weren't aggressive for the position that they're in as far as the standings is concerned, both for the wild card and for the division. Now, I mean, they were in first place until they came to Houston. And as a Rangers fan, which I'm not a Rangers fan, but for in the eyes of Rangers fans, that is the only team that you really need to concern yourself with during the course of the year, because that gives you statewide bragging rights for the rest of the fucking year. They didn't do it. They came in, they got swept, and they got sent out the door, limping. Take it on home, boys. Go back to that trash ass stadium that you guys have. Yeah, I just don't think that the Rangers were aggressive enough. I mean, I was on the fence. I mean, I almost gave them a D, but then I'm like, well, let me take a look at the moves that they did make. Yeah, it helped here, it helped here. I mean, what kept them from getting an A was just lack of aggression. And what kept them from getting a D was the moves that he did make and the effect that it was going to have on their bottom line. So it wasn't just an arbitrary B minus that I handed out. I mean, I did take a look at everything that was going on, and I mean that's why I came to that consensus. But as far as the Blue Jays are concerned, I gave the Blue Jays a C. And that's because I mean, with mixed results, you know, they get one major trade and it drew criticism for the price that they paid. So, um, and and plus that straight trade that they made with Houston uh before or what was it on Monday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Spencer Arrighetti for Dalton Varsho. Uh they gave up a pretty good offensive bat in an offense that already had been struggling. They gave up a decent I mean actually a really good defensive glove when their run differential is absolute trash. And they got a pitcher that is not nearly consistent enough to be considered safe. He'll chew up some innings for you. Um, and the guy's a workhorse, but
Yeah, but
Spencer
sometimes you
Getty,
need.
I mean, I don't know, man. I wasn't happy with that trade. I just didn't think that it served. I don't think that it served Toronto any good at all. I think they actually got fucked on that deal, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I gave the Nationals a B minus. They did get some reasonable returns for the veterans, but nothing franchise altering. Uh, the Washington Nationals, they're going to be just competitive enough to be a pain in everybody's ass, and that's just where I'm at. So, I mean, they didn't do anything to affect their long term or short term trajectories. And I mean, really, if you think about it, that's kind of what the trade deadline's for. Hey, you know, we got to make these last minute pushes, you know, these last minute changes to make a final push to try to play baseball in October. And they didn't do it. So they got to be minus. Biggest winners, obviously, we've got the Dodgers with the A plus. Everybody else, 2 through 5. You got the Cubs, Phillies, Red Sox, and the Padres, all with A's. Biggest losers this trade deadline is the Orioles with a D, the Mets with a D plus, Blue Jays, Cardinals, and Twins in that order all got C's. Now, the common theme of this deadline was that the contenders were unusually aggressive. Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, San Diego, Boston all significantly improved their playoff outlooks. Clubs like Baltimore and Detroit made difficult long-term decisions. Sports radio in those towns are going to be talking about them for a couple of years. The Dodgers emerged as the consensus winner after acquiring Skubal, but while Baltimore's decision to part with Rutschman became the deadline's most controversial move. So, I mean, yeah, we lost Carlos Narvaez, really good catcher, but he does tend to strike out a lot. He does have some defensive trends that make him kind of a liability, but the guy's an absolute workhorse. So I mean, you get him behind the plate every day, as opposed to platooning with other guys. Get him that consistent playing time, and I think that I've got no problem thinking that Carlos Narvaez is going to be one of those perennial all-star catchers. Um, he just needs the playing time, and he needs the right kind of instruction going forward. But yeah, I mean, it just with the Orioles just willingly getting bent over a barrel, I'd be, you know, I mean, there's no, I mean, it's no wonder if you watch Orioles games on TV. I mean, there's almost like entire sections that are empty at their ballpark right now, and it's just because fans aren't showing up to watch. I mean, they're not wanting to pay money to watch shit. So, I mean, they can do all the. I mean, fans in Baltimore, if they wanted to watch something burn, they can just go downtown. They don't have to go to the ballpark and spend good money to do that. So
Yeah.
but that's uh, hopefully I delivered for this year, this year's trade deadline analysis. But let's take a look at the standings real quick, and then we'll move on to football because football's right around the corner, everybody. So,
Okay, let me. While you do that, I'm going to see if I can find this video with the Chiefs. And if you know what I'm talking about, just keep it.
oh,
shut.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about with Mahomes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the Tampa Bay Rays, of course, they're still in first place by 3.5 games over the New York Yankees. Rays are 7-3 over the last 10. Yankees 5-5 over their last 10. The Red Sox are in third place, 4.5 out, 2.5 or two full games behind second place, and 4.5 behind the Rays. Red Sox are 8-2 over their last 10, winners of their last 5. The Baltimore Orioles, they are three games under 500. They are 11.5 games back. Now they're still only a game and a half out of the wild card, but with the, like I said, with the grade that they just received for the trade deadline, I don't see them making the playoffs. You've got the Blue Jays. They're 7 games under 500, 13.5 games back, 6-4 over their last 10. In the Central, you've got the Chicago White Sox, who are currently getting torched 13-2. Yeah, no, 14-2. I'm sorry, by the Red Sox. The Cleveland Guardians, they're playing 500 baseball. They're 3.5 back, 3-7 over their last 10. The Twins, 4 games back. They're only a half game out of the wild card, but yeah, 6-4 over their last 10. You got the aforementioned Detroit, which they're pretty much kicking the can down the road. Said c'est la vie for the rest of the year. They can remain competitive, but I don't see them making the playoffs. They're 5.5 games out of first place in their division, 2 games back in the wild card, and 6-4 over their last 10. The Royals, like I said, they got eliminated on opening day. They are 20 games under 500. Well, no, they're 19 games under 500. 14 games back of first place, 10.5 out of the wild card, 3-7 over their last 10. Then we've got the quote unquote hotly contested American League West. You've got the Houston Astros with a 2.5 game lead over the Texas Rangers. They are at 8-2 over their last 10. Rangers are 3-7 over their last 10. You got the Seattle Mariners playing 3 games under 500 currently, 2.5 games back from the division. They are 4-6 over their last 10. You got the Athletics, 12.5 back, 1-9 over their last 10. The Angels are 14.5 back, 2-8 over their last 10. You got the Atlanta Braves. They are in first place in the National League East with a mark of 67-45, 7-3 over their last 10, winners of their last 5. The Philadelphia Phillies, 61-53, 7 back in the division and a half game out, or they are up a half game in the wild card standings, 5-5 over their last 10. Miami Marlins, they are 9.5 back, 2 games out of the wild card, 6-4 over their last 10. The Nationals, 13.5 back, 6 games out of the wild card, 2-8 over their last 10. And then you've got the Mets, 48-66. 20 games out of the division, 12.5 back in the wild card. Mathematically, can they still make the playoffs? Yes. Realistically, not a chance in hell. They are 5-5 over their last 10. Last 2 divisions, you got the NL Central. You got the Milwaukee Brewers, which currently hold the best record in baseball, especially after the Dodgers got swept by the Boston Red Sox over the weekend. The Brewers are 69-43. That's a 616 winning percentage, 5-5 over their last 10. The Cubs are 5.5 back in their division. They're up 4 games. They're in the wild card. They hold a 4-game cushion in the wild card. 6-4 over their last 10. You got the Pirates, 13 back, 3.5 back, or 3.5 games out. They are 4-6 over their last 10. The Cardinals, they're 9 games under 500, 13.5 out or back, 4 games out, 4-6 over their last 10. You got the Cincinnati Reds, which is a 54-58. And that's kind of a that's a deceptive 482 because they play. I mean, that team on paper should be a lot better than they are. But all things being fair in love and war, I mean, this is the Cincinnati Reds that we're talking about. So
you're always going to have those teams that have better stuff, or they have like a team and you're like, oh, they're going to win it all. And then once they hit the field, just stuff happens.
Well, I don't necessarily think that it's one of these, oh, they're going to win it all. I do think, however, wow, my camera, it's not even going to let me turn my camera back on. That's fucking awesome. Gotta love the internet, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, I think a lot of it is just simply due to the fact that they can't really, it almost seems like they can't get out of their own way. Even more so than the Mets, but it's like I think the Cincinnati Reds are way better than the 54-58 that they're putting up right now. But moving on.
Here's another thought process is sometimes you have good players, but they just don't connect to each other.
Well, yeah, chemistry in the clubhouse is got it says a lot. It speaks to a lot, but I mean, these guys are also professional baseball players, and so I mean, they should be able to check their egos at the door and put the team mentality up first. But
Yeah.
I don't know. And out in the West, on the left coast, you've got the Dodgers leading the way out there at 69-44, 4-6 over their last 10, losers of their last 4. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 9 games back in the division. And let me see here. 6-4 over their last 10. The Padres are 58-55, 11 games back, 2 games out of the wild card, 8-2 over their last 10 games. The Giants are 48-65, 21 games out, which is why they're retooling for the future. And 12 games back of the wild card, they're 5-5 over their last 10. And then the Rockies. The good old Colorado Rockies bringing up the rear with the gear, 45-68. They are 398. I mean, that's a 398 winning percentage, 24 games back of their division and 15 out of the wild card. They're 4-6 over their last 10, losers of their last 1. They have a run differential of -102. It's not as bad as the Athletics, which is -155. But man, just damn. It's just that is unreal.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, you're giving up 102 more runs than you're scoring. That's insane.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah. Go ahead and play that video.
All right. This is the all-powerful Patrick Mahomes. He beans the shit out of him, dude. It just the look on his face is like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, but
he's okay.
Honestly, I kind of don't want to go over a whole lot of football news just because
All it is train. The we don't have to.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I'm kind of the mindset that we land the plane.
Okay, we've been doing it for an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
if all we go through is the stuff and the stuff for the trades,
I mean,
that's
I'm just happy, and I'm taking a victory on this one
yeah.
because I actually, for once, in the first, in the 5-6 years that we've been doing this show,
4 years. 4 years.
years.
Every time, everybody adds extra fucking years. Cynthia did that too. She's
sometimes,
like,
well, just because,
Is it-
David, and I think a lot of it is because it's just you make relationships seem so unbearable sometimes.
I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. I'm halfway believing what you're preaching right there. Because okay, me and Cynthia, we went to the I had to drive her to a concert on Friday, and we ended up talking to the mom of the band, lovely woman, and what was messed up is Cynthia was like, "Yeah, we've been hanging out for like 5 to 6 years." I was like, "No, we haven't." She's like, "Yeah." Well, I looked back at the first episode that me and her did together, and it was like 4 years ago. And I was like, "See, I told you." Well, her rain of thought was like, "Well, it was in October, so in October it would be 5 years." I was like, "We'll go with that. All right, fuck. All right." But in all reality, I don't know what it is, but people like I've talked to for like a minute, maybe a minute. They're like, "Oh, we've been hanging out for like 2-3 years." It was Tuesday. We hanged out Tuesday. We found each other Tuesday. That fucking bad. Seriously. Well, so everybody got a good laugh out of that. I'm like, even my best friends from like I've known for like 20 years, they pop up stuff and like, "Hey, remember when we did this?" No, I don't remember when we did that. When was it? I was in high school. We did XYZ. And you thought, "Yeah, I've seen that joke go around in TikTok. Maybe that's where you picked that one up." No, I think you said it first. I was like, "All right, fine, whatever."
I'm a funny motherfucker, dude.
I am so hilarious. And I'm in people's minds rent free because of all of that. And I ended up doing I have adventures I didn't even know I was able to have.
I'm telling you, bro. All right. Next week I should be on the show because I'm working days next week. Yeah, so I should be on the show next week on Monday, so we can go as normal, as regularly scheduled. So, yeah. I have to go to Pearland tomorrow and Friday for physical therapy on my knee, which absolutely feels like hammered dog shit right now. Because yeah, there was a lot of climbing last night. Dude, I slept almost the entire day, and I got home. I crashed. I got home about 8:30. Didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even take a shower. I changed. I changed clothes when I left work or before I left. Came home. I stopped at McDonald's. I got me something to eat. Got an iced coffee, some orange juice. Drove home. I vaguely remember walking in the house, and then I just absolutely crashed.
Yeah.
So, but I was supposed to go on a day date type thing with my wife today, and by the time we got up and got moving around and everything like that, it was almost fucking 2:00, and I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's like
I only wanted to sleep for a couple hours today, just so that way I could get the most out of the day. But
yeah, I only got like because I just got off of work, same thing as you, picked up some food, ate something, I set up the stuff and everything, and then I was about to change out, and I was like, I don't even want to do that. I'm just gonna watch some Donut Operator and some other stuff, which he got swatted again live on air.
You know, I'll be glad when people that do that get caught. It'd be great. I want to see that live.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So be back here next week, everybody. Monday night at 8:00 Central Time. You can do the math for the other time zones.
Yes.
But until then, I'm Johnny Skelton.
And I'm David Dickerman.
And this has been Nerd Sports episode 273. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Fare thee well, Felicia.